The girlies are fighting, y'all. The girlies are fighting, and let me tell you, I am all here for it. So, and something that shocked me, maybe it's not so shocking to other people, but it shocked me. The FBI has officially cut ties with the Anti Defamation League, aka the ADL. I like and many others on the left like to call them the Apartheid Defense League because they are constantly defending Israel and their actions. Uh, at their core, their founding doctrine was actually supposed to be fighting actual anti-Semitism and just defamation in general. That has slowly devolved into just being a propaganda piece for Israel. And in a way, being more anti-Semitic than any actual any actual person that they normally criticize is. Okay, when you are constantly lumping criticism of Israel and calling that anti-Semitism, or is calling anti-Zionism, saying that is anti-Semitism, and just constantly conflating Israel's actions with the actions of all Jews. Now, we know that Israel claims to speak and do everything they do is on behalf of all Jews. That alone is anti Semitic as hell. All right. And a lot of Jewish people would disagree with that. Okay. Because when you keep comparing Jewish people that they go hand in hand with Israel, and criticizing Israel is considered, being against Jewish people and being anti-Semitic. That's anti-Semitic because Israel is a genocidal ethno-state who's just doing an absolute genocide in Gaza right now. Like, I'm not going to get into it, but it's objective what's going on there. Okay. And the ADL comes out and defends that every single day, goes after people who criticize Israel as opposed, and just turning a blind eye to actual anti-Semites, at least up until now, like Elon Musk, Nick Fuentes, and just people who are actually anti-Semitic. So yeah, that's my little pre-article rant. Screw the ADL, screw the FBI, but hey, I'm not going to complain if they fight. So I guess previously I didn't really know this. I mean, I should have known this and I shouldn't really be surprised, but the FBI and the ADL, I guess they collaborated on a lot of things. I guess they've done anti-hate speech trainings together, among other things, and kind of worked hand in hand. So that's all being cut, and let's read about it. I have a Reuters article here that we're going to get into. So, FBI cuts ties with Anti Defamation League. FBI director says the FBI said on Wednesday it cut ties with the Anti Defamation League, a Jewish group that tracks anti Semitism, after conservatives criticized the group for including slain activist Charlie Kirk's organization in a glossary on extremism. In a social media post, FBI Director Kash Patel said the Bureau won't partner with political fronts masquerading as watchdogs. Wow, Kash, you finally figured it out, except that he's always known that, but they only care when that, political front / watchdog is in contradiction to their interest. And surprisingly, they're putting Charlie Kirk and Turning Point USA kind of above the ADL, which is a bit crazy. And I don't really know how this is going to play out. So the ADL said it took note of Patel's announcement and has deep respect for the FBI. Patel's announcement followed criticism of the ADL by right-wing voices, including billionaire Elon Musk, over its inclusion of Kirk's Turning Point USA in a glossary of extremism and hate. Kirk was assassinated in September. I mean, is that wrong, though, as far as Turning Point being in the glossary of extremism and hate? Let's talk about what Turning Point and Charlie Kirk stood for. They stood for blatant racism, white supremacy, extreme misogyny, Islamophobia, and just a whole host of things. And a lot of people who would probably identify with Turning Point USA in that mindset a lot of them just straight up are anti-Semitic. There's a lot of people on the right who are anti-Israel, not because like Israel's committing a genocide, but because they just hate Jewish people. Like, what else do you want me to say? Anyways, after that criticism, the ADL removed the entire glossary from its website. The glossary had said Turning Point USA had a history of bigoted statements, a charge the group rejects. Anyone who wants to challenge that in my comment section, challenge any comments I made in regards to Turning Point USA and Charlie Kirk, be my guest. Because I could spend days digging up everything said by Charlie Kirk, said by his organization on his behalf. I could go on for days of just straight up, in context, racist, Islamophobic, transphobic shit. And that's just the least of it. We're not even getting into the the incitement of political violence by saying like Joe Biden should get the death penalty. We should bring back public executions, and they can start. Children should start viewing them starting at like the age of 12 or 16. Yeah, get out of here. Anyways, that's crazy. So they just removed that entire thing. So does that mean that like is this just kind of like a little fight, like just a little argument? Like are ties actually going to be cut here? Because it seems like the ADL instantly capitulated and said, all right, we'll get rid of it. So I guess we'll see what goes on there. Anyways, ADL's website says it works closely with federal, state, and local law enforcement in fighting extremism and hate. It also notes the FBI turned to it for data and research as far back as the 1940s. So this has been a long partnership. So I doubt like one dipshit FBI director is just going to sabotage that, especially when ADL instantly capitulated to their demands. U.S. officials have taken part in ADL events over the years. Former FBI Director James Comey, against whom President Donald Trump's Justice Department has filed criminal charges, noted at a 2014 ADL summit that the FBI worked with the group to host civil rights and hate crime training for state and local counterparts. Aftermath of Kirk's killing, the U.S. has witnessed many instances of right-wing backlash against critics and commentators whose views on Kirk after his assassination have upset conservatives. Last month, Jimmy Kimmel Live was briefly taken off air. Yep. We already know this. ADL documents anti-Semitism and hate. Its critics say it equates anti-Semitism with the criticism of Israel policies, exactly, like including Israel's genocide on Gaza and its occupation of Palestinian territories. ADL's website calls that conflation a misconception, but adds that certain forms of anti-Israel rhetoric and activism delegitimize Israel in its existence and are anti-Semitic when they vilify and negate Zionism. Yeah, so just straight up, like, if you're anti-Zionist, like any sane person should be, then that means you're anti-Semitic, which is just horseshit. And, despite them saying, like, oh, it's a misconception that we conflate, like, criticism of Israel with anti-Semitism, that's not a misconception. That's just what you do. And that's the most anti-Semitic thing you freaking can do, is saying, like, yes, all Jews are linked to Israel and are, in a way, like, responsible for Israel's actions. Like, come on. Stop lumping all Jewish people in with Israel, all right? As much as Israel likes to claim, they are not the voice and the arm of Jewish people. So, yeah, give me a break. That's all I have for this one. I don't think this fight's gonna be all that long-lived. Like, the ADL didn't double down or anything. They just said, like, they removed the entire glossary and was like, my bad. So, yeah, well, we'll see how this goes. It doesn't sound like it's going to amount to much of anything, but hey, who knows? But I'm here to stoke the fire, and I am fine with them fighting. Hey, when your enemies fight, let them fight. Anyways, that's all I have for this one. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below, and I will see you in the next one. If you made it to this point in the video, I just want to give a special thank you. If you enjoyed it, please hit that like button down below. And if you really enjoyed it, maybe consider hitting that subscribe button while you're down there. I want to hear your thoughts in the comment section. I will try to reply to any and all comments that I can. Until next time, watch that video on screen.